Hopefully the camera stays. It has fallen like 3 times already. I decided to film outside today because we are having some beautiful weather. We're having a couple warm days in the middle of a pretty heavy cold snap. It's gonna get cold again tomorrow. I know you can see the snow here and you probably think I'm freaking nuts for saying it's warm, but hey, it's warm compared to 2 days ago, right? I also wanted to talk to you about our property, and how better to talk to you about our property than being outside. So, we are in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, which was a dream of mine since I was a child. So when I was about 5 years old, I decided very intentionally that I was going to live in outside of town, and I was going to have a greenhouse, and I was going to have, well, maybe it was a garden at the time. I wanted to have vegetables, fruits, and I wanted to have animals. And I even told all of my friends this. I invited them to my future property. I begged my parents to move out of town for the preceding 10 years or so, and never really could convince them because I always wanted to have a horse. I rode horses as a child also. So this was like a dream of mine. And I actually uncovered some old assignments, some writing assignments from 5th grade, and I literally said I wanted to live in the mountains in Colorado, and I wanted to have animals and land, and I wanted to help people with their health. That's really bizarre because that's literally what I'm doing. So I will talk about manifestation in another video because that is another passion of mine. But back to my property. So we have 3 acres in the back that is forested, and it's wonderful because it's full of trees, and there's a little slope to it, but it's not too steep. It's great for just meditation and quiet time. The kids like to play back there sometimes. Then we have this section here. This is our middle section, and this is where we have all of our outbuildings. This is where the house is. This is where our animals are. My she shed right here, which I want to call it something else. I don't really like that name. My cottage. I've been floating the idea of cottage lately, but this is where I have my office. I have my napping loft for when the kids are super loud and I didn't get enough sleep. I do yoga out here. It's great. Then we have our horse barn that we no longer have horses. Long story, tell you later. That will be my husband's workshop coming up in a couple months. He's working on it right now. Actually, hopefully a couple weeks, right? Then we have our house here, and then there's other outbuildings. We've got chicken coops and playscape thing. And then the front acre or so is meadow. So it's nice because we're really like recessed off the street. In my future dream, like I've now developed more to my dream, I would like to have more space, more land, so that my kids have the option to build on that property at some point. But for right now, this is pretty freaking awesome. So altogether, it's about 3 acres. And I think that's what I really was calling in when I was a child. I said, I kept telling my parents, all we need is like 1, 2, 3 acres. That's it. That's all we need. For right now, for raising our kids where we are and and keeping the connections in the community that we have, this is great. The farthest we ever have to really drive is about 45 minutes. We're probably 30 minutes from the heart of a lot of things that's going on in our metro area. There's all of their activities are within half an hour or so. And people who live in the city might think, oh, half an hour, that's a lot of time, to drive. And yeah, it is. That's the trade-off. Because our kids are homeschooled and they are involved in a lot of activities. But because they're homeschooled, when we get really snowy, icy days, we don't have to go down the mountain. We can stay here if we want to, which is great and beautiful. And we have a lot of things to do here. So if you are interested, if you are interested in learning more about what we're doing here, the kinds of animals that we have raised here and what we are raising now, we're primarily focusing on our chickens, but we're adding ducklings and probably bringing goats back this summer. If you're interested in learning more about our little homesteading experience and living in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, please let me know what you want to see. Do you want to see a tour of my property? I would love to do that, especially maybe in the spring when the meadow is actually grassy and not dirt. But yeah, if you're interested in hearing more about my homesteading journey and my journey from living in the city to living out in the country, please let me know and comment below and like and subscribe and all the fun stuff. I'll talk to you guys next time.